Okay, everybody, here it is. I finally finished cleaning my craft room. I reorganized every bin. I did a destash. I want to thank, well, I've been destashing all year, really, but I want to thank you to everybody who bought from my last destash. And so here it is. And let me start. First, I'll go through a walkthrough and I'll show you the overview of the room, and then I'll go through like a detailed organizational thing. So in case you don't want to see all that, you could just kind of look and be done. So here it is, my 2016 room tour, and I probably won't do a deep cleaning like that ever again for another year at least. All right, so here it is. I'm going to show you walking into my room. It's a big room, and what this room is it's like a bonus room, that like a family room over the garage. So it's big. It does not have a door on it. And this is the wall that I just painted and hung my craft room letters that I made, and my scissors, which Hobby Lobby doesn't have these anymore. I wanted another pair. And then I made some cardboard buttons. So, and then this was my mock dog gate that I built myself, and I like that little door mirror that I put on, which I'm going to take it off and I think hang it on the wall, but to keep the dogs out, because anyways, all right, so this, it does not have a door on it. It's just open to my hallway upstairs. So on this wall I have this is the hallway where the bedrooms go. So you come up the hallway and then that's in my craft room. I'm tired, so let me see if I could get through this. Those two pictures I got from my mom's house. I love chandeliers, or whatever you call them. But anyways, all right, know that I have more than one hobby, okay? So this half of my room is my doll houses and miniatures, and then, of course, sewing, all my crochet stuff, and I have my jewelry making is pretty much over there, and then I do clay stuff. So, all right, here is my whole room. There we go. I'm gonna come in. I keep my printer right here, and that's just all printer paper and stuff. And this I had done a tutorial on. I Mod Podged that TV stand with the paper. These have to go in the mail. And let me see, where should I start? All right, so now I'll give you the look. That's my hallway, and that's the wall that I kind of painted, okay? All right, so let me just start. Over here, I just put that little frame there with some cards that I've made. This desk was here, but I had it using, I painted ducks for my brother, which I haven't done in a while, so I displayed it with all my mini albums that I'm going to put on Etsy. Things that I've created. I seem to always do my nails up here, so I brought my nail polish up here, because it was in my bedroom closet, so I accumulated them all up here, so I figured, oh well, I'll just make this where I keep my nail polish, and I like it better. So that's that. And there's just some baby fabric. Those are racks from when I paint my brother's decoy duck heads. I hang them on there to dry, so I'm not using them now. So there's that desk. Excuse me. So this desk just changed because I moved this shelving stuff on top, and I get all that from Target and stuff. And there's all my goodies. I altered that lamp. It was a baby lamp from the Goodwill, and I made it kind of look like the Hobby Lobby lamps. But and there's all my stuff I'm going to put on Etsy. My mini albums that I didn't sell yet. Some stuff that I made on the walls. More mini albums that I've made. These are treasured stuff that my son's given me. That was from a swap from Archana. Do you recognize that, Archana? And little things that the kids have made me throughout the years. All right. Well, since I'm over here, I'll just show you this. This cupboard. Let me just tell you about my furniture. If it's not a Recollections cube, then I got all my furniture repurposed. All my desks I've picked out of the garbage or at Goodwill. Mostly out of the garbage. I don't think I've ever paid for them. Maybe, if so, more than 10 bucks. That was like an old bathroom cabinet. It used to be brown. I picked it up off the garbage and I painted it and decoupaged it with papers. And in here, I just keep all the junky paints and stuff like that. And then in the bottom as well, I got this and I labeled everything. So that's like all my spray paints and plaster and etc. And then those two bottom drawers, I keep all my tools because I have to hide my own tools because my husband doesn't take care of stuff. And then all the hardware stuff like my drill and all my nails and screws and etc. Alright, so get that out of the way. So let me go, that's like the main part, but let me turn over here and I'll show you my, this is where I do all my dollhouse stuff. And if you see like some of my old videos, I do have miniature making stuff. I just picked that dollhouse up a year ago from Craigslist. It was free. Somebody was giving it away, so I had to take it. Don't know why, because I haven't even finished this dollhouse. I've rebuilt this from, it didn't look anything like that. But I get tired of working on that. And then those two bins they house all my dollhouse stuff. This is strictly dollhouse stuff, and that little cabinet there holds dollhouse things. That's a bulletin board with stuff my son has drew for me, pictures of my kids when they were little, etc. And then those flowers, this wall looked too bare up here, so I just made those out of paper the other night, and I painted just freehand to make it look like the scrolls coming out. So yeah, those are all paper, and I think they just look really cute and dress up the room quite a bit. There you go, you can kind of see that. That flower bucket is just scrap flowers that I've made wreaths or decorations, and I just keep them in there. And then, of course, I have to have wood for dollhouses and stuff. This bin here is all my mediums, like acrylic paints, well, no, glosses, Liquitex, antiquing creams, and stuff like that. It used to house my acrylic paints, but I'll show you I got something new. These two bins, believe it or not, were my very first two crafting bins that I got, and I wheeled them in and out of the closet, and that's how I started out. I've had them for years. I've been a crafter since I was a kid and a teenager and all that, and then, you know, when I got married and had kids, I kept all my craft stuff in there, glue guns and stuff, and I'd wheel it out of the closet onto the dining room table. And then I've slowly acceded into all of this. Alright, so the newest thing that I added to my room is this thing that I just love. And I don't know if I'm zoomed in or out there. I picked this up. We have a paper store in Ohio that you could buy paper by the pound. It's like a craft store. So I went in there this summer and they were selling this, and it spins. So I took all my embellishments, like Tuesday mornings, all my handmade embellishments that I make, and stuff that I don't want to take out of packaging quite yet. And it came with all these hooks and everything, like just like a store. Like these are all the embellishments I've made, my handmade flowers I'll be putting in my Etsy, and stuff I bought that I want to see and use. And it spins. And I bought it for $25. It's huge. It's like taller than me. So I got that. That's new. I bought it this summer and I just now organized it. It's been sitting here. I took the dollar wrapping paper from Michael's because this was just plain white up here, and I just decorated it to match my room. These little bars I got from Michael's. They were just clearancing them out for like $4, and they fit in there. They go right in those grooves and they come off. They're ribbon holders, but. And I got rid of all my stickers, guys, and this is all I have left. I only kept my letters. So that's how I hang all my letters. Then this rack is like die cuts and ephemera and embellishments and stickers that I want to keep for card making, words, like that. And that's in the die cuts for stuff that I'm going to use. And then I hung some ribbon on the rest of it. But then what's really cool is, let me spin this. I had all my old laces and ribbons in these bins that I made and decoupaged. So the excess ribbon and those I put on little spools, little laces, and they fit right in these shelves. So that holds all my excess ribbon, because I bought all of these at Joann's. Black Friday they had online. Those are regularly like $20 a piece, these ribbon holders. and the ribbon just slides right out. And they had them on sale for $9.99. So I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. There's 4 on top and 2 on the bottom. So I'm able to now see all my ribbon. It's easier to get off. I used to store it all up here in those things, and it's just really hard. So I'm not going to exceed that. I have to use stuff up before I get rid of it. And then another new thing that I have in here is how I store my acrylic paints now. I got these from Saw Crafter. They hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They hold 40 bottles of your acrylic paints. They're sturdy. They're her wood. I decoupaged mine to make them pretty. And painted the inside black. And I just love them. I bought 4 of them. And it holds all my paint, and I painted on the lids so I can see. So now when I want to use a paint, I don't have to go through my drawer, and I just look at what color I want and I pull it out, and I have been loving it. So I have 2 over here. And then these, I used to store ribbon on these. I made these myself out of a doll and a piece of wood. But now I just put my washi tape on there, which I really don't use washi tape. I don't even know why I have it. So, okay, so I took my craft room letters used to be up here. I took them and moved them over to that wall. And I hung these decals. I love chandeliers. So then everything in my bin. So this is my sewing desk. And this was another desk that I got out of the recycle, or $10 from the Goodwill. I don't remember. And I, again, decoupaged it with scrapbook paper. That's my sewing machine. That little cubby houses threads, needles, my sewing machine pedal. And so then I have this whole wall of cubes. These are just, I don't have no Expedit, nothing in here is from IKEA. I don't live near an IKEA, but I just have, these are from Target, Walmart, and Michael's, and I just love them. And slowly, you know, I just add on every time they go on sale. I don't need any more though, because that's it. And then I labeled all my bins. The bottom, that's just canvases and mason jars that are extra. That bottom one there is electrical cords and stuff. And then I'll kind of just show you my sewing basket that I altered. I have a video on that. This is pillow stuffing and rice. Rice is if I'm going to stuff pillows. Here's my miniature craft room. If you've never seen this, I do have a video on it that I made. I keep that in there. This is chipboard albums that I have to alter. That's all fun foam. This is all felt. These are puffy paints, which I was going to de-stash, but I don't know. I just might as well keep them because it's too heavy to de-stash. I don't even know what to get for it. These are gift bags and boxes. These are glass paints. And this is all Christmas decorations and trim in there. Alright, so then I'll move over to this side. And I guess I'll show you what I keep in them. There's again my Saw Crafters paint. I can't recommend that enough. That is another Saw Crafters little drawer thing, which I keep all my little... I altered it. Gloria bought it for me. My friend Crafter GM. Thank you, Gloria. I put it together and painted it with scrapbook paper and Mod Podge. That's a little house. This is a hat and dress form that I just think it looks cool in here. These gift bags, nothing's in them. I just love the way they look. This bin houses all my tool, my rolls of tool, and that one as well. You can see I just throw them in there like that. This I keep doilies and napkins and all the wedding dress appliques that I've gotten. This bin is all baker's twine and jute and stuff like that. This is all gift wrapping ribbon, which I need. I have a bunch of spools of these. So I keep those in there when I want to wrap a gift. Get in there. This is all my napkins. That's what I have left, guys. I had 2 buckets of these and I de-stashed so much and I still have a ton. So that's all I'm keeping. This is all envelopes for card making, different sizes. This is my spray box. And what I mean by that is I put what I have to spray, and I use my sprays like my Lindy's and Prima sprays. And I just made this and Mod Podged it with scrapbook paper. And I bring it to my desk and put my items in there and then just spray. So I keep it in there and it looks nice. These are just things I've altered over the years. I keep, if I stamp images out, I keep them in there so they're ready to go. Glory made me that, and I have to get my grandson's picture in there. Oh, okay. So this is where I'm working on, this is what I made for my grandson. So I need to get his pictures in there. And then my old dies that I won't get rid of those. My music CDs, because my stereo's right there. A thing of glue is down there. And then all on the bottom is all my books and magazines. Crafting magazines and books. This bin is just miscellaneous craft items that I like, foam for flower making, raffia, feathers, stuff that I really don't have enough of to put somewhere. This one is all like gift cards and paper bags and fancier envelopes like glassine bags and stuff like that to send out gifts. This one's projects that I have to finish, which I don't have many. I just have that many of them. This is all full of tissue paper. And this is stuff that can get altered. That's it for my cubbies. So now I'll move over to this. These are just decorations that I altered. Bird cages from Michael's. Oh, I finally hung this up. I've shown this quilt before. That was, my mom and my grandma made that for me when I was a little girl, and I'm talking 4 years old. And that was on my bed for many years. And look, I can't believe it's in good shape. I'm 47. And look, it's still white as can be. I can't believe it. But anyways, so I had that rack to hang it on for a good 3 years, and it was brown. So I finally painted it and hung it up because I kept throwing my quilt over this chair. So now it's hanging, displayed where it should be. And that's my mom and her best friend. My mom just passed away 1 year ago, and her best friend just passed away last month. No, 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, that's my little tribute wall to them. I miss them. Okay, so enough of that. This is my window. It's way in the corner, so it really lets in no light because that's on this wall. So, and I got these from Hobby Lobby. I just think they're fun. I have no view really, just of there, the corner of the house. It's the back corner of the house behind the garage. So that is a rocking chair. It was when I had my son. I bought that and I recovered the cushion, and it used to be brown, and I painted it, and then of course he sat and peeled off the paint on the arms. So whatever, I don't care. This bookshelf houses all of my, those are all photos that I keep photos in, those boxes. There's more miniatures that I've made over the years. Alright, and I'll come down this way. I try to go slow so I don't kill you. This is all my bead storage, and these are all my, you know, I go to garage sales and I get these, you know, the big blue tool things for guys in their garage, and I decoupage them with my scrapbook papers. So they all look really cool. Not that you could see them, but it just looks really cool. And so that houses all loose beads, and I have several. I have those that house, like, I'll just show you. These are all hearts, my metal fine, all heart charms. These are the words, anything that has like a word, like, you know, the Tim Holtz things, all my metal pieces like that. These are all bird cages, butterflies, gears and clocks, anything that is a key, all my metal clips, paper clips, those things. So yeah, these are fancy buttons. This is my fancy drawer with all my real fancy embellishments. These are all the book plates. These are all big chunky jewelry charms that I make using on mini albums and stuff like that. This is all baby stuff. And then stuff like that. So all that I keep in there. These bottom containers, I just got those. And I'm going to start keeping my 12 by 12 collections that I haven't finished using, but don't want to get rid of the papers yet and the pieces, like if I do the collection. So I'll store it in there. And that one's Christmas right now. I just didn't label it yet. All right, so before I go any further down this aisle, let me take you to the center and I'll show you where my desk is, because I'm getting kind of... All right, so now I'm back over this part. I just came from over there. This is where I store all my yarn, and again, these are the not recollections, just the Target and Walmart cubbies that I've put together, and I keep all my yarn. I try to keep it by color as best I can. Those are all the dress forms I've made, jewelry I've made, my postage scale. And this is, I bought this recollections on just this one. The rest I had. I emptied out. I kept my binders in there and I destashed all that stamps from my binders and put them, which I'll show you in a minute how I store them. So that's empty now. So that's waiting for if I have extra paper or something I could shove in there. So I bought this on good Black Friday. Yeah, Black Friday. Because it was dirt cheap. And I don't have anything in it yet. So I was going to take it back. And I decided, no, I got it at a good price. I'll just keep it. It's fine. I'll find something to put in there. But anyway, so this bottom one houses all my clays. Like I have clay in there. Neutrals. This is all colored clay and molds for my clay. And then this is all clay tools. Which the molds should be down there. Bead making, cutters, and stuff like that. So that's all dedicated to just clay. Alright, and then that's my desk where I sit. And I've kind of built myself in an L in the center of the room. And I'll slowly walk over and show you. Oh, let me show you this. First of all, the dog bed. I just made that last night. And I will do a separate video on showing that. But there's my little Zoe's dog bed. It's so cute. This is how I used to store my 6x6 papers. It's just an old shelf that I painted, and I made all these containers. That's fabric I Mod Podged on there. My 6x6s fit in there perfectly. I didn't like to always have to grab them out and fumble through, so I changed how I store those, which I'll show you later. But I didn't want to get rid of this because it's real pretty and it matches my room. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to label and store the cards that I make, like birthday, sympathy, you know, get well, Christmas, which I've already started. See? So when I make, not my real fancy cards, but, and keep a simple, and that way I'll label it and then I can go in there and pick a card. I gotta get something to drink. Hold on. Okay, so the center part, that's the other side of my yarn. I just picked that rug up for $35 at Kmart. Stopped in there on a whim because I was at my brother's house and there's a Kmart out by him. So I went in there and lo and behold, it was a 5x7 rug for 35 bucks. Hello. Anyway, all right, so this is this main... Everyone says, oh my gosh, if you didn't have that room, what would you do with all your stuff? Well, I can honestly tell you, I would get rid of all my dollhouse stuff. I wouldn't have that anymore. I wouldn't have all this stuff spread out. I would stack it going up all the walls around me because I will have 4 walls if I'm crafting somewhere else. And really, this is my main crafting area. The rest is just luxury storage. And if I had to, I could condense it. So, let's get started. This, on Black Friday, I went and bought for 30 bucks another paper holder, these paper holders, and they're regularly like $80 and I got them for 30 bucks. So I got that, and that's what I store my 12 by 12 paper pads in. My new rule, I destashed a lot. My new rule is I am not going to exceed that. If I exceed that, I have to destash because I'm not storing it anywhere else. That is it. Same thing with my stamps and inks and everything else. If it doesn't fit in what I have, too bad. I have to destash. And that's fine. Okay, so that's where I store my 12 by 12 papers, and it is on wheels. I highly recommend that cart. I love it. This is another Recollections cart that I had bought when it was on sale or clearance. I love it. It's got the big drawer. But this is the new way that I store my dies. I started out storing my dies in... I made the booklets with the magnets, you know, and then I grew and that got heavy and pain in the butt. So now, and then I just kept them on the Avriel envelopes on the magnets. And I would flip through the bin and I had them all in magnets in the sheets and the CD holder plastics. I hated that because I'd sit and go through and I'd miss out. So now I just bought this magnet sheet from Michaels. It's got sticky back on it, and I glued one, I just peeled it and stuck it there, and that houses a whole load of dies. And I did one on the other side, right there. And then sitting at my desk, I hung one on the wall right there, and that's just foam core board. And I put the magnet sheet on there. Actually, that I just pieced out the little squares that I had my dies on and glued them all on there, so I didn't have to waste any magnets. So that's how I store my dies now. And then this little square area is my basic everything I need to work. So let me start. This table here is where I do my die cutting, my paper trimmer. This is an old microwave stand that I got out of the garbage. I keep all my chipboard under here, and scrap chipboard is in that, and then that's scraps when I'm die cutting, and I have the scraps that I toss them right in there. Okay, so now I'll move over here into this. Like I said, here's where I store my 12 by 12 paper. This is all my embossing powders, and these are just things that you have in your cupboard, and I decoupaged them and paint them with, you can do it with your napkins or your scrapbook paper. So those two are my embossing powders. And then you come over here, and this is where this is where all my rubber stamps get stamped. I haven't labeled that yet because I want to, when I have more time, I want to sit and organize it by like Christmas, birthday, baby. Yeah, whatever. So that's why I left that blank. And if I exceed these, then I have to destash because that's just too much, guys. You can't use all this stuff. And that's enough. Anyway, so, all right. So this is where I keep my Tim Holtz spinner that I bought from a destash. It came with all this too. So that's where I keep that. This is my carousel, which I hate this carousel, but now it's okay because it's big, it's too deep. A lot of you use it and put your pens, but they're too deep. So I just use it for big tools. And when I say big tools, I'm talking all my corner rounders, staplers, and I just hang them on here. See, my crocodile, and all that. So that, and I'm in arm's length because here's my chair, so I can just back my chair up and reach and grab when I need it. Here's my ATG gun. And I just keep it, I have to fill it, and I just keep it in that pretty little container and grab it. This cart next to me, I always have to have this cart by me. I guess it's my version of the Rascog cart. So let me just kind of sit in my chair here. And I'll just kind of, before I go through my stamps, I'll go through this. So this I've shown before. This is for ribbon, but I don't. I hang my Windex and stuff to clean my desk. I throw my heat tool in these little cubbies. This stays on my desk all the time. It's always plugged in right here. I use these all the time. They're right there. They never leave. This little dish houses the glue drippings. Isn't that gross? But it works. And okay, so in this thing, the top of it is where I store like all my scissors, my bone folders, my brushes. I use this to dust off like embossing powders and stuff when they get on my desk. My spray, spritzer, watercolors, just basically tools. My jewelry making tools are there. My rulers, my bone folders, extra scissors. I hang my Zutter thing here and tweezers. This drawer is all my adhesives and tapes. And I just cleaned this all out and organized it. So I have ATG tape, dots, all my foam, you know, foam mounts and stuff like that. So that's strictly tape adhesives. This drawer is all my stamping blocks. And my that tape wouldn't fit up here, so this is all my score tape that I keep on hand. And then this little cubby is all my clear blocks, and I use this to put my stamps on. It just gives it more cushion. So all my clear blocks for stamping. This bottom drawer is just all my towels and rags. All right. So let me show you how I store all my stamps. Let me scoot over here. I got these bins from Target. This works the greatest for me. I just keep, if they come in packaging like these, then I keep them in the packaging. Like the Prima dolls and stuff. I can't do this one-handed. All my Prima dolls, you know, I just leave them like that. But I like them in these bins so I can flip through. So any stamps that I had in binders, I took out and I put on these Avery pocket things. You can get them on Amazon. They're real sturdy. You can store CDs in them. And then the clear, these are the shiny boards that you could buy that cling mount stamps cling to. I used to have them in binders, and I don't like that because I don't use them. This way, all my stamps are right here, and I pull out a bin, and I go through. My greeting farms are that way. All my, like these come nicely packaged, so I leave them in the package. And I just flip through with my finger and get anything I want. This is all my Stamper's Best, and I could just flip through and see what I want. I love it. These are all Magnolia. So all my Magnolia stamps. And then I could just flip through like that. This is all sentiments and letters. So now I just have to flip through, find what I'm looking for. This is all Stamps of Life. And no, I added more in here. So yeah, these are all my stamps that I took out of binders. And I just stamped them on the front and put them on these nice sheets. So I can see what I'm looking for. I like that way better. These are my mixed media stamps. They have to go in this big bucket because like these are like Tim Holtz, and this is how I used to have them in binders, but I just kept that on there because that was nice. But these are all my Dilutions, and they're already on these nice cards, so I just leave them on there. And Wendy Becky and all my stuff for art journaling and stuff like that. So those stay right there, and they're labeled somewhere on there. And then these are all like miscellaneous little stamps, you know, that you pick up that I like. So that's that. Okay, so that's how I do all my stamps. Any wood rubber stamps that I have, I'm going to turn my chair. I store all my wood stamps on a wall right there, and that's all I have. But I'll get to that in a minute. Alright. So this is on my right side of my desk, and as I spin around here, I have this carousel that my friend Gloria gave me. Thank you, Gloria. This is my most favorite thing in here for storage. And I labeled it. I keep all my stamp cleaners, my like crystal effects and glossy accents, my Yes paste. These are all my fabric tacks. Whoops. Fabric tacks and my art. I'm knocking everything over one-handed. So it's right there at hand's reach. I just spin it and get it. I keep the only ink I keep here is my vintage photo because I use that like all the time. It's like a tool, really. Tweezers and small tools like lighter and clippers and stuff. all my craft knives, my heat tip tools, sandpapers, gelatos. This is all like glue sticks, fray check, you know, this kind of glue that for fine detailing, and glue stick in my E6000. All my glasses. Yeah, because I need 50 pairs because I lose them every second. I keep score tape in here, the current one that I'm working with, and one of these. So when I'm making an album, I know I just throw it right in here and then I grab it to use the ongoing one that I have. Glue sticks. This is my flower maker from Marion Smith. And I just kind of keep this one for miscellaneous, like my lip gloss, wart remover. Too much information there, right? There, my hand cream stays in there. I didn't put it back. See, I'm getting messy already. And then I try to keep this one just for miscellaneous stuff too. You know, when I'm using, and I could throw it in there and then put it away later. That's it for this thing. Yep, I showed you everything. So that I love, love, love. This is how I store my cardstock. I got these bins recently at Target. They're big and sturdy and they're cheap. I think they're $4 a piece. You can't find them any cheaper than that. And they're really wide. It's not for 12 by 12. It's just 8.5 by 11. So I keep my Recollections black, Recollections white, Recollections craft. I have one extra. This is just Recollections colors. This is my heavy cardstock. When I say heavy cardstock, I mean the Georgia Pacific, which is 110 pounds, or the cardstock I get at Michael's, which is 110 pounds or 80 pounds or higher. And that's the real thick stuff. So I keep that separate, and I just labeled it heavy cardstock. I don't have that much of it, so I don't have to organize by color. This is my table, which I got free from a friend whose neighbor was moving. They wanted rid of it. This is like the hugest butcher block. The glass, I used to be able to take this glass off, which it weighs a ton. You need help. I can't even lift it because this is a deep table. It goes way back. But the glass cracked, so I don't really move it anymore. So yeah, it's a little gross under there, but I don't care. I clean the top. My mat, I need a new one. I'm a slob. I've seen better days. Ugh. Yeah, I never used to work on it until I started doing mini albums, but see, I line up with these lines now. So, oh well, it's a craft room, right? It's not for entertaining guests. This is what it's all about, ladies. My throat's getting dry from talking. All right. This is where, right in front of me, and I just stack bookshelves. This is just little bookcases that I stack and then put my cubes and just stack them up all in front of me. So this is where I store all my Copics. That's all the refills I have up there. So I am not buying any scrap supplies unless absolutely necessary. But this year I'm going to focus on getting my refill collection up. Those are my colored pencils. That's my kids when they were little, my two boys. Up there I just keep miscellaneous, the jars I've altered, miscellaneous flowers that really don't have a home. They're pretty in jars up there. That white milk glass thing, that is where I just keep scraps of ribbon and stuff that I don't want to get rid of, and I could just pick that down and use it. That's Recollections cardstock, and then the colored pastels, and I need to separate them more by color, but this I just keep my, oh, these are all my Copics. This is how I do my videos. Yeah, cheesy, right? It's a pipe for plumbing, and I duct taped it so it's against the wall so it can't go anywhere, and then I mount my camera, which I'm holding in my hand now, and it views over my desk. This is just pretty bling that I had, and I didn't want to wrap it up and put it away, so I tacked it up there, and if ever I find a project, I'll take it down. That is where I keep all my scrappy notes, you know, to write notes and measurements, tape, like I said, my Copics, my fan, because I'm always roasting, my dirty, icky paint water that I can tell you all day long, I'm going to be neat and clean it. I will never. I'm a dirty paint girl. That's all there is to it. They sit there until I don't like the smell of it, and then I take it in the bathroom and change it. Pencils. I bought all new pencils at Target, and I have them all sharpened because I was sick of, I would sit here and go through 5 pencils and they'd all be broke. And now I keep the pencil sharpener right there, plugged in. All right. So I got new pencils with beautiful erasers. They were $1 and they're cute. So I always use pencils. Scotch tape. I keep my paint trays right here. And I just cleaned them because if you think I'm a dirty paint girl with that water, you should have saw these babies. I let them dry and then I peel the paint out or I just put more paint on top. So now it's nice and clean. Yeah, I just did that last night. Dirty girl. Okay. Okay, now this side, this is, okay, we'll go up here. Alcohol inks, all my alcohol inks. I like these at Reach because I do use these. These are all my little inks, like these chalk blooms and the Primas, all my little tiny inks. They go in this, they go right there. These are my stickles. I destashed so many, so now I just have it contained to this because I don't use a lot of stickles. My pearl pens. Look at that. Alcohol ink fell and you need to go back home up there. Alright, so that's my pearl pens and I just keep them right there in Reach. This is pattern cardstock that you get at Michael's. That's all polka dots. It's all the pattern stuff. This is Copic paper. Any paper that I need for Copic coloring. This is Holo's paper, which it's thick colored cardstock. That, like, it's at that store where I bought that cabinet. So I keep that separate. All this down here is Stampin' Up paper. So I have all this, and I'm starting to, I used a lot, and this exceeded it. So that's all Stampin' Up. And this is paper tray ink. This used to be full. I've dwindled it down. Their paper is very thick. It doesn't go through punches, so I don't think I'll be buying any more of that. This is just 12 by 12 cardstock. I don't really deal a lot with 12 by 12. Oh, my little purse embellishment. So that's all I have. So I just keep it there for when I need it to cover a big chipboard. This little light I got at Target. It's new. I like it because it has these little things where I always keep these out because I unclog my glue bottles like religiously. So I need these at all times right there. I recently got a whole bunch of these medicine cups. I think my mom was on hospice, so I got like an abundance of these. And I've been keeping them up here because they're good to put, like you can see yesterday I was painting. And they're good to, and I can put the lids on. And it keeps the paint if I'm not done. So, yeah, I'm letting that. This one's pretty much done. It's just got to dry and I'll throw it out. But yeah, so I keep those there. This is where I keep my laptop. So I'm at my desk. This is to the left. I keep my laptop here, but it's downstairs right now. And I Skype every night with Gloria and Barb. Hello, ladies. And yeah, so that's where my scrapping buddies visit with me. Okay, so, and then I taped my plug up here from down here. I put this cabinet that houses nothing but light bulbs and stuff. So I tucked it away on my desk so I could have my laptop up here. And I like it because it raised this thing. I don't even know where I got it. Garage sale. I don't know if it's a cookie rack or pantry rack. I don't know. But my laptop sits up here, so it raises it up. And it also keeps it so it doesn't get real hot because it's up in the air and it's vented. So yeah, that's my little speaker for my, you know, it just makes my music louder, I guess. My kids say it's a piece of junk, but it's perfect for me. Paintbrushes go there. This is all my Lindy's and Primas and whatnots. Excess, that's pretty much Glimmer Mists. These are my lights. I have to have so many lights. I just keep them there. Target, find, again, I have 3 of them, and I still never have enough light. So then this is another desk that I got at the Goodwill. It's huge, and I know I didn't pay more than 20 bucks for it. And the whole bottom, from here, all the way to there, is all open for this desk. So I'm able to shove all my recollections under here in these. So it's just magnificent. I just love it. Anyways, yeah, it's gross too. It's stained. Right there's where I store all my, I like these archival inks. That's all those, and they're labeled. I put a piece of paper and I label maker it for what color it is, so I can just look and pick my color. Same thing I do with my, these are all my Distress Tim Holtz. This I store glitter. Oh yeah, this is from Michael's, and this had, hold on. See where I stored those cubbies? The cubby? That cubby really goes inside there. But I took them out to store my markers, and I just use these for my inks. See? Because they're removable, which I like. So it's perfect. That I just keep my glitter. I barely ever use glitter. I should just get rid of it. I really hate glitter. My jewelry wires for making jewelry. All the wires. And those are all my Stampin' Up! Inks. Okay. So then I just have paper towels and big paintbrushes that don't belong in there. So now when I turn my chair all the way around, see, I could see my dies and I could grab them, my paper towels. Yeah, because I'm lazy. All right, so this is a new cabinet that I got at Christmas too for 30 bucks. It's regularly 80 something. On top of this, I keep that thing. And I had all my punches, let me spin you, hanging on a curtain rod right there where that is. And I was just sitting here one day and the whole doggone thing collapsed and fell all over the floor. So that is what made me have to get a cabinet. So now all my punches are in there, and that's all I had. I destashed a lot of punches this year. That's all I have of Martha Stewart. Those are the big Martha Stewarts, and that's all I have. And then this is my bow it all. So I keep that handy. Alright, this is another cubby that I keep my small scoreboard right there. And these are my wipes and my stamp cleaning sponge. So I just have to turn to clean my stamps. This drawer is another miscellaneous. And in it I keep all my refill blades, rubber bands, blades, paper clips, sponges, cotton balls, these things, my rubber bands, magnets. Here's all my magnets. They just stick right in there. And I usually keep one little stack of them sitting on the outside of the drawer so I could just grab them. Velcro, staples. These are just all my jump rings for jewelry making. Scotch tape refills, batteries. Yeah, toothpicks. So that's what's all in this drawer. And then these little drawers here are all my, these are all my dies. So I have 3 drawers of dies. When I say dies, I mean these big ones. So I got those. And all these old Sizzix that I want to keep. And then that's just all my embossing folders. Okay, so that's that. Oh, let's get to these drawers. I keep my paper trimmer and my big scoreboard right here next to me. This drawer is all my inks, meaning my StazOn, Versamark, just the basic black stamping inks and embossing inks. That's it. This is all my tie-back and hinging stuff for making mini albums. This is all my pearl type embellishments, and I just organized this. I got all these loose ones I got from Saw. Rubber band, like these glass looking ones. These are all ones that I've been using that are on sheets that are opened. And then these, you know, I can now just flip through. These are all colored. So yeah, I kept it really condensed now. It was a mess. And then that is where I just keep all painting sponges and sprayers, my daubers, and all this kind of stuff that I know I like sponging on paints and stuff like that. Then in here, this is all loose rhinestones, except for this, because I don't have anywhere to put it and I use it all the time, so I just keep it right on top there. But this is all that loose rhinestone. The whole drawer is just filled. these are books for taking notes and stuff like that. This is where I keep my box cutters, my stamp ink, you know, to get the glue off of stuff, my stamping buddy. This actually goes in here, but I'm using it, so I'm keeping it out. My mouse and my stamp buddy and stuff like that. This is all bling embellishments. The one next to it's pearls. This is all bling, meaning rhinestones and stuff like that. And I organized it like these are the bigger ones. These are ones that I'm using that don't have a home. My mesh bling and all these big, you know, stuff like that. So that's a bling drawer. What's down here? Those are all my letter stamps that I use all the time. I'll never get rid of those. They are all different kinds, so those stay there. This is like a new setup. I'm starting to keep black scrap paper for when I'm doing mini albums, so then the craft scraps, the white scraps, this is colored scraps, so then I know, because it was getting out of control. And I'll clean it out if it gets too much. This is going to be my catch-all drawer, where if I don't know what to do with it, it's going in there. And then these are where I keep all my stencils. Okay. Where am I now? Alright, so moving. Basically, that is my, oh, down here, in this little thing, that's where I keep my big, I have more cutting mats and stuff. Like this kind of stuff. That's where I keep all that stuff. My envelope punch board and stuff like that. So that's where that goes. Oh, let me show you this. Okay, so then I'll show you what's in this cabinet, and then there's my 12 by 12 papers. So let me get to this cabinet. In this drawer, I just cleaned this out. This was all my Avery Elle envelopes and stuff. So now I'm just using it for my accessories for my, you know, that thing. And, oh, I'll keep my garbage bags to clean my room and stuff in there. I'm out of them, that's why. These, I keep all my, well, those craft mats. These are just all, like, pearl embellishments, beads, stick pin making stuff. This was before, like, my letters. This is mostly all for, like, jewelry making. On top of what I have over there. So that's all that stuff. One of these is sequins. No. Alright, and then these little containers I keep. This is all my sequins. This is all my Viva 3D stamp paint and rubs. This is all my dilutions. And this is all my ink refillers. There's a mixture. Tim Holtz, Stampin' Up, etc., etc. This is all my mica powders and H2Os. These are extra containers that I've cleaned stuff out and don't need anymore. Down here I keep all my wax papers, my freezer bags, tin foil, sandwich bags, all that kind of nonsense. Alright, so that is like my zebra chair. That is that in a nutshell. So let me go over to the third and last section of my craft room. Alright, so walking over here, this is the other side of my desk. And then there's my room all the way around. You can kind of see. Ta-da! Alright, so this is the back section nobody sees. That's the last of my D-stash that has to go out. Well, I'm waiting for payment. This is all my rosette trims that I nicely wrapped and put together nicely. This is all my lace and trims that are on these kind of spools, and my, there you go. This is cheesecloth. And then this is all fiber trims. And then this little cabinet is my mailing. This whole section's my mailing stuff. I keep my bubble wrap, all my mailing tapes, all my envelopes. And then here's where I have a stash of boxes to ship stuff out. I keep them in there. As I get packages and the box is already open, I stash them here so I can reuse them. And this is just the other side of my desk, so nobody sees it. And then my craft bags if I'm on the go. That is just where I keep my Cuttlebug and my Zutter. I don't really use the Cuttlebug anymore. My toaster oven for clay. And then there's all my binders that I need to get rid of. I don't know if my nieces or nephews want them for school. But that I had my stamps in. And then that's just photos that I want to go through to put in my storage bins that I just have to have a chance to do that. This is these crappy cabinets. Terry, I hate these cabinets. I know you're watching. This is what I mean about when I told you they're junk and you open them up and the lids do not stay in the traps. I see, it fell right out. I hate them. I've had some people say, and all I keep in them is all this light clearance jewelry stuff that I find at Michael's that's on clearance. So this is all for jewelry making. Whoops. Sorry. Gloria made me that. These are pictures of my nieces and nephews I have to hang up. I want to put a board over here. Yeah, this is all light. When I find stuff on the clearance rack, I buy it for jewelry making. Yeah, these are pretty much empty. Those are, you know, this is my jewelry making thing. So I keep that in there. Of course, my toaster oven. Alright, this is my wall of everything that I've gotten from my YouTuber subbies. Thank you. Do you see anything that you made up there? Look at that banner. I hung that up. I love it, love it, love it. Donna Dreams, I think. I love it. I need to fix it though, because I got to hang it higher. But these are all cards and gifts and things from years from YouTubers. So yeah, there's all that. I got 2 boards, stuff there, and then up there, that's from, gosh, that's from doing tag swaps and ATC swaps. I've kept it all. It just stays up there for decoration. And then this whole cubby bin is all fabric. And I just cleaned that out too. So it's nice. And whatever I didn't want's not there. These are for photos. I want to start scrapbooking this year. Like with photos. I got a Canon selfie for Black Friday for Christmas. And I haven't used it yet because I wanted to have my room nice and clean until then. So now I can use it. So you'll be seeing some stuff. Well, anyways, these are leftover. These aren't 6x6 paper pads, but they are these long. So I keep those. I try not to buy them anymore because they're just awkward. So that's what that is. These are all my Stampin' Up! Wood stamps that I can't part with. I got rid of a lot. And then these are just winter and Christmas stamps and paper pads. I don't have a lot. I really don't do holidays, like crafting wise. Alright. These 2 containers are just when I find like these kind of things that I want to use on a mini album, and handmade flowers that people have sent me, and like wedding pics and stuff. I like to keep them in here. And then I can go through them. And then these, you know, it's all like wedding pics and stuff from Michael's. So I keep that in there, and handmade stuff that people have made me, flowers that I keep in these things. And then these, I just keep all my wood embellishments. This is all small letters, large letters, and kids and baby. This is all the kids and baby stuff. Rockin' horses and stuff like that. These are large alphas. Small alphas. These are all words. Like happy, Mr. and Mrs. Mother, daughter. These are Saw's chipboard, not her wood pieces. The chipboard, the actual chipboard pieces. And these are all my Michael's miscellaneous. These are all my Michael's frames, all my miscellaneous Michael wood pieces that I use. This is just supplies like that for barrettes and bottle caps, those paper clips. all my Prima stuff like that, and fragments. All right, down here is just my photo albums, and all that is like memorabilia, like the kids' report cards, their yearbooks, and all that stuff. That I really need to come up with a better storage. I just don't know. All right, my black dresser. This was my dresser when I was in high school. I bought my own bedroom set, and it used to have the big ugly hutch with all the side mirrors, you know, and the shelves. I got rid of that and I painted it black, and I decoupaged it with all my paper, and I did all my pretty knobs from Hobby Lobby, and I think it just looks so fantastic cool. Okay, wood stamps. That is all I have besides the Stampin' Up. Those are 1x3 boards. I put them on with an L bracket, and I store my stamps. That way I can sit at my desk and look over and see them. My mom actually painted those letters for me, and now she's gone, so they're like really, really special to me. Yeah, my create. So I just painted these and I store them. I got rid of a lot of wood stamps. I still like wood stamps though, but whatever. So I'll take you on top of the dresser and then inside the dresser. These are cutouts. What I mean by cutouts, it's all these, you know, paper collections that I want to use to cut out that I have extra of, tags. So all that, like this stuff, I keep that separate by itself. This is a lamp that I altered with fabric. That's just a jar of buttons. These are how I do my 8x8 paper pads. Now this is how I like to do my paper pads now. It is much easier than pulling those things off the wall. I can just sit here. These are the clear ones, and I could just sit here, and if I exceed this, that means I have to destash. That's my new rule. So, ooh, I just bought this from Archana. Love it. I can't wait to play with it. But anyways, yeah, so now I could just do this and know what all I have. And that's it. Isn't that easier? This is specialty paper. Meaning, you know, that. These I like to use for covers or insides of minis. All this textury, yeah. So that's just all specialty paper. This is what I call my filler papers. The loose papers from Michaels. And they're just basically like polka dots and stuff like that. That I can use, like if I don't have enough of a collection, something will match in there, but it's neutral, like the colors. This is just baby. Different baby. And then this is all kids, like school for bigger kids. So that's all that I'm keeping in that. And then these are all my 6x6 papers. If I exceed this, I'm done. And it's pretty full. I got 2 of them. So now I just have to stand here and flip through. And it's so much easier that way. Yep, I love it. So I have 2 of those with my 6x6 pads. This is just like metal, glossy paper for alcohol inks, foam for mounting stamps, and then all this crazy crinkly paper that I have no idea what to do with, but I don't want to get rid of it. So that's like miscellaneous. All right, now I'll take you in these drawers, I guess. Nothing special. This is my foils, anything that has to do with foiling, like that, and my journal. This is all like tags and my playing cards that I used to make ATCs out of, but I can still do them in mixed media, like mailing, shipping tags, and all that, all those tags. This bottom drawer is all like for not mini albums, scrapbooking albums, like all these covers, the albums, the refill pages. Yeah, it's all loaded with all that stuff. This middle, I don't even know if I have anything. Oh, this is all my manuals. Like if I have, for instance, my manual to my camera, my Zutter, my internet security stuff, my movie maker, anything that has a disc that I need, you know, to download. This is all my computer information. So yeah, that's all manuals and instructions and stuff. Wow. I forgot to clean this drawer out. This should have went in a destash. don't know why. Look. That's okay. I'll give it to my nieces. This is a holy nightmare of a mess, but it's my mess and I know what it is. These are all plastic Ziploc bags. Yeah. Every size, every color. I fumble through and pull out what I need, but that's all that's in there. These are all my Zutter tools. I'm out of breath. Whoop. And then this is all picture frames that I've had like around my house. And look at this. These are my first, when I say I've been crafting, this was like when I was 20 years old. My picture frame, that's my son. See, I made all these. And I've saved them. So that's what I keep in there. Look at that. Isn't that cute? These went on, I used to make photo albums way back. Like that. And glue them on top and stack them up. And then these are all like, oh, that's my mom when she was 20. But I want to eventually like do something with all these. I just haven't. That's my son. So yeah, that's all that's in there. Okay. I'm done. That is my craft room. I will spin you around one more time. I'm out of breath now. Is there anything else I didn't show you? Alright guys, this was a very long video. If you stuck with me, you're as crazy as I am because I love to watch these videos too. If you have any questions on how I store stuff, where I got something, feel free to send me a little message or something. But yeah, that is it. So you can kind of get a better overview of how I operate. This is where it all happens. Now, it will probably be a mess again in 24 hours. My desk will be a mess, definitely. That's always a mess. That's probably the cleanest it is. I do clean it up between projects, but when I am creating, look the heck out. That's just the way I am. I can't help it. Alright, I guess this video is long enough. That is where I create, guys. This is my sanctuary. And I am in heaven when I'm in here. I love this room. I'm happy when I'm in here. If I don't get in here, I'm crabby. And this is just my place. Alright everybody, take care. Happy crafting. I hope to, now that I'm organized, I'm going to bring you lots more tutorials this year, more projects, etc., etc. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye. Alright, one last thing I forgot to show you, which is important, I think, is all my flower bins. And that is like all my Wild Orchid Craft flowers, Prima flowers, but I used to have them all in one big drawer and I got sick of fumbling through, and then I found I wasn't using them. So this time, this was like one of my newest organization projects. Everything else is pretty much almost the same except for my ribbon. All this stuff is the same as I've had it. But this is one thing that I did. So I labeled all my flowers and I did them all by colors. So these are all like oranges. The blues. So now I can just, and I label them really nice. Like that. Blacks and reds. I got green, I got pink and purples. So yeah, you get the gist. These are all browns and these are all like yellow tinted. And these are all white or cream. And then these are all my crystal flowers or acrylic, whatever. These are all leaves and stamens. And then these are all sprays, like these kind of sprays, these kind of sprays and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I do my flowers. And then my stereo. I usually listen to Spotify now on my computer, but I do have favorite CDs that I do listen to every now and then. Okay, and then this thing on the bottom, which should go over there by my miniatures. This is another cubby that I've had for years that I keep all stuff for like making my miniature doll houses and room boxes. And it's like when I say that, this is stuff to make flowers. These are itty bitty punches. And you can make flowers. Like, look, this went into a garden. Doesn't it look like impatiens? Get in the light. They're tiny. So yeah, this is a lot of my tiny stuff for making miniatures, little spools, little game pieces and stuff like that that I collect. I have several containers over there in my other cubbies with all my miniature stuff, and in that stuff you just basically have to keep it in stuff like oh, that's beach stuff. Like, here's little flowers I've made for my doll houses and stuff like that. Alright, so now that is it for my room tour. Thanks everybody. Bye.